Okay, I have a few questions in here. What's the first question? I'll read it out to you. What is happiness? Can happiness be an object of attachment? Every person has a slightly different definition of his or own happiness. And also, happiness has a time dimension too. Happiness is limited by a time dimension and a space dimensions of the person who is realizing the happiness or who is looking for happiness. What's this time dimensions? What you feel happy when you're 8-year-old is different from what happiness is to you when you're 35, when you're 46, when you're 50. Happiness is not the same. I remember when I was 7 or 8 years old, I always cherished the Chinese New Year. Because when the Chinese New Year comes, we have new clothes, we have new shoes, we have all kinds of goodies to eat, and we have red packets that the elders would give us money, and happiness will be the time during the New Year. And I'm always looking for that Chinese New Year to show up. And it seems to be a long time to wait. You know, every day you wait and wait and wait, it doesn't come up. But when you are older, you don't feel the same anymore. To someone who is sick in the hospital, he's been living in the hospital, he's been lying on the bed for a month and is slowly recovering, happiness will be when he can leave the hospital, be healthy again, and reunion with his family. That's the extreme happiness to a sick person. And to someone to a senior, 92-year-old, who is living in an OH home, happiness will be the time when his sons and daughters and grandsons and granddaughters coming to visit her and take her out for a lunch. So what do you mean by happiness? So happiness have a time dimension, have a space dimension. Why a space dimension? Happiness in some remote, poor districts of certain country is to have enough food, because they're living in the confine of scarcity of goods, scarcity of supplies, and if they can have ample food, if they have enough, happiness is when they have crystal clear water to drink, when the water is not polluted. But to you, Canada, we always have better water. So don't ask me what is happiness. It's difficult to define. But I can tell you, it does not matter how you define it. You would not have happiness if you do not have peace of mind. Why don't we do it that way? That applies to almost every time dimension, every space, every age. If you're an 8-year-old in the Chinese New Year, you're thinking about cherishing this dream of Chinese New Year, you don't have peace of mind. Because why? Your brother, your bullying brothers always beat you up. So it does not matter what happiness is all about. You're not having peace of mind. To the richest man on earth, he has multi-billions of dollars, but he's always worrying about how to safeguard his assets, worrying about who's going to succeed him. He's worrying about his enemies maybe after him. He's worrying about what happened if he had engaged in some corruption practices, that someone is hunting him. He always doesn't have this peace of mind. He always feared, worries, anxieties, depression. It does not matter how much money you have. He's living in the best homes, a $12 million home in Shaughnessy, with luxury cars, with everything, but he has to hire 3 security guards on site. He had to install 120 cameras in everywhere, and he has to buy a bulletproof Mercedes-Benz, He doesn't have peace of mind. Whereas this poor monk, he's walking in the forest, enjoying the bird song, in the nature. He's happy. He's peace of mind. The next question is, can happiness be an object of attachment? Yes. Happiness is an attachment. Even happiness, you have to let go. So we don't call happiness really happiness. Sometimes happiness, we call it something that exceeds happiness. We call it a bliss. And even the bliss has to go. So if you ask me, is an object of attachment, don't attach to it. Don't attach to happiness. But when it comes, why do you shun it away? If happiness comes, you say, oh, I don't want to attach to happiness, I'm kicking it away. Oh, you're stupid. Because you want to be sad? You don't want to be sad, right? When happiness comes, let it come. Just let it come. Right? When it goes, let it go. It doesn't bother you, right? Would happiness bother you? Well, if happiness really bothers you, raise your hand. I tell you how to do it. If happiness really bothers you, raise your hand. You know? It won't bother you, right? So why entangle yourself with another thought? But can happiness be an object of attachment? Yes, it's an object of attachment. Next question. What are the benefits of meditating in nature? Philosopher Henry Thoreau, and he said, an early morning walk is a blessing for the whole day. Early morning, not just in nature. Of course, in nature, every hour may be good, but the best time is in the morning. That's what he said. But walking in nature is, of course, good. What are the benefits of meditating in nature? Meditating in nature is good. But you got to watch out. If you suffer from any consequences of meditating in nature, I don't bear any consequence. You know why? If you are attaching to this meditation in nature and you don't really care about your surrounding, something will be patting on your back. You look around, here's a grizzly black bear. Ooh, you can't get away. You can run, but you can't get away. You got to be careful. And this copper coming up, and you're meditating in here. So you got to be careful when you're meditating in the nature. You say, oh, this is nature. I love nature. I can meditate anywhere in nature. The nature is me, and I'm one with the nature. Yeah, you are one with nature. When you're being attacked, you are a few pieces with nature. They ate you up, or you disappear in nature. So make sure that in nature you are safe, you're protected. So you have a good net, or especially if you are in the nature of a seashore on a cliff. So if you're meditating on a cliff, there's a 30 feet or 40 feet or 60 feet cliff, and has the seashore. You enjoy the sunrise, the sunset, and you are on the shore, you are a spectacular view of the ocean, or of ocean front. Nobody's around. You own a property on the ocean front, and you say, okay, I'm going to meditate on the cliff. You know what kind of trouble you get into? Here comes an eagle, a 120-pound eagle. You know what an eagle would do? He may not have, because you are 20 pounds, 200 pounds. He can't grab you. He'll push you. He'll push you down the cliff. You fall down the cliff, you're dead. He's gonna eat you up. So don't tell me, oh, a reference said that meditating on a cliff in nature is good, but then it may lead to tragedy if you're not careful. You know how eagles kill deers? They chased the deers to the cliff, and then they pushed them down. And the cliff fall 100 feet, dead. Then the eagle is going to come. So make sure you're not the target. In nature, you could be the target of wild animals. I like to know more about the temporary Buddhist ordination, 8 precepts in August 1st to 8th. who is qualified to attend. You are qualified to attend for the 8 precepts. If you do the 8 precepts, you can at the same time take the 3 refuges, because you cannot take the 5 precepts without taking the 3 refuges, but you can combine the 2 in one. In other words, in the 8 days, you are going through the life of a typical monk or nun in a temple. You start your day at 4:30 in the morning. You discipline yourself on the hour, and you do all this chanting and meditating and sitting and circumambulating, sitting meditation, chanting meditation, walking meditation, going through the ceremony of eating a lunch, and you have to attend lectures. So you are going through a camp, like a summer camp, for 7 days. And we also use 1 day to meditate in nature. We use 1 day to meditate in nature on Bowen Island. You know Bowen Island? Bowen Island has no bears. Bowen Island has 6,000 or maybe 5,000 to 6,000 deers, and they won't bother you. So there's no bears, no wild cats, no wolves. So that's what we're going to do. So join. I already have 40 candidates from Hong Kong who would fly all the way from Hong Kong, 13 hours of flight, fly over here to take the 7 days ordination time. They go for a temporary ordination. They shave the tonsure, the hair. In other words, they just live. They appear like a monk or a nun, and they live for 7 days. You know, in Thailand, it's a custom for people to go through temporary ordination. You know, in Thailand, they like their sons and daughters to go through ordination at least for 7 days. Some of them go 49 days. Some go for a year or 2 years or 3 years. You accumulated a lot of merits by doing it, because you sow the seeds of enlightenment. Imagine, what would you do if you don't come for the 7-day ordination? You're going to picnic, you're going to party, you are, what do you do? Usually what do you do? But when it comes to ordination, we're too lazy to join. Too lazy to think about it. Why would I join? I have to shave my hair. Gee, how can I appear without hair in front of people? I love my hair. Not many people will have the guts to do it. They have the guts to do something that they shouldn't do. But they don't have the guts to be ordained temporarily as a monk or a nun. You know what I mean? Come to join us. We only accept people we know. I know you, so you can join. Don't bring in a stranger unless you guarantee that he will behave good. And our due date is June 30th. So if you register after June 30th, I can guarantee you to have a space left. And for people who are already bald-headed, what's the difference? Yeah? You raise your hand, yes? I can't hear you. The meditation retreat is here for 7 days, and then on the 8th day, everybody go to Bowen Island to live in there for 1 night, to have an early morning walk in the forest, have a morning trail in the forest, in the forest tradition, and have meditation in there and enjoy nature. Really enjoy nature, not just talking about it. It's easy to talk about nature and not enjoying it. But Bowen Island is a good nature because it does not have any wild animals. That's why we have a temple in there. No wild animals. 5 years ago, a bear got onto Bowen Island. They trapped the bear and bring them back to I don't know, Whistler or Squamish, where they should belong. So this is the beginning. We'll hold one every year. Ask yourself a question. If I didn't do that ordination, what would I do? You may talk on the phone and do just ordinary chores of what you're doing every day, whereas people are cultivating good seeds in a 7-day retreat. You're just doing every day what you're doing. It's a challenge. Can't you accept challenge? Can you accept something new? We already have 40 and we don't intend to register more than 60. So we already have 10 people registered in locally. So you see, Hong Kong, they are very, very enthusiastic. 40 people would come. But locally, not as enthusiastic. We only have 10 people registered for it. We still have 10 vacancies left for you. So if you want to come, sign up. And don't ask me when all the vacancies are filled. And don't ask me after June 20. All right, so any questions? Yes?
Is there a fee?
Huh?
Is there a fee that we need to pay for this?
We don't charge fee, you know. Money is not everything. So we don't charge a fee. It's just as we don't charge this lunch for a fee. But if you want to give, it's good to give. Always good to give. Always think about, I want to give more than I receive. You don't be calculative. I donate $10. I have a lunch, and I think this lunch is only worth $10, so I donate $10. Oh, very calculative. If this lunch is only worth $5, you donate $50 or more and more and more. You give in everything. Give more than what you receive. That's the way to go. Yeah.
During that retreat, your lectures are going to be in English or?
Unfortunately, in the first ordination, we cannot have time to do both languages. But most of the time, it's just silent, because meditation, chanting is something very simple, and if you are speaking a different language, when people are chanting, you just listen to the chanting and create this present moment awareness. Every chanting comes to your ear, it flows out. You can train yourself in everything. Don't be limited by language. Train yourself in every thought. Sometimes it may be a blessing if you don't understand the language, because it becomes something that you don't attach to. You know, language is an attachment, you know. When you are above language, you don't have any attachment. If people criticize you using a different language, you don't know. So that's even better. Okay, any more questions? Why do we need to take 3 refuges to follow the teachings of the Buddha? So why do we not need the 3 refuges? The 3 refuges is just to have a reinforcement in your mind that you are determined. You don't really have to take anything for believing in the Buddha. To be really leading a monastic life, you don't really have to be a monk. You don't really have to appear as a monk. You can appear as anybody as long as you work in your mind. But I can tell you, if you appear as anybody, you don't have that discipline, because you don't have that reminder to you that you should do it. You should take the Buddha's way of life. And also in the 3 refuges, you are setting up your target. You're setting up your objective. You know what is in the 3 refuges? You have to make targets. You have to put your agenda down. What are these agendas in the 3 refuges? The 3 refuges is just like this. Okay, class, what is the agenda for your future? What's your dream? What is your dream? I want to be a policeman. I want to be a football player. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a nurse. I want to be a teacher. They put their determination on paper. They put down the objective and they yearn and steer towards that way. The teacher would say, okay, that's good that you have your dream. You want your dream to come true, you work towards it. The teacher won't say, okay, Okay, boys and girls, you don't need any of the dreams, just do what you want. Whatever you want you do in life, don't worry about it, just do whatever you want. There's no guidance. The three refuges is to guide you, put the agenda on, and specify your objective and the method to do it. That's your teacher. What are this agenda? Well, when you are in the three refuges, we are taking the three refuges today. When 1:30, there are 20 people taking the three refuges and the 5 precepts. You want to know more about it? You participate as bystanders. The three refuges, why do we need to take the three refuges? Why do we need an agenda in a meeting? Okay, come for a meeting, we don't need an agenda, just talk whatever you want to talk about. In a meeting, you need an agenda. In a life, you need an objective. In enlightenment, you need a path to walk. 1,000 miles start with the first step. Have you taken that first step? You don't even know the first step. You don't even know where your foot should land. You land on the wrong spot. You just land in a swampy quicksand area. You get swallowed up by the sand. That's a compass. That's a beacon in the ocean of darkness. Don't you need that beacon light? When you're like everyone is like it's like a loner rowing a boat or sailing in the dark ocean. You drift north, south, east, west, you don't know where to go. All of a sudden you got a beacon telling you that's land. You want to go to land? That's where you go.